Hey guys, Stealth here. Today in Steel Division we're having a look at the new French deck. And this is the French deck in action, commanded by Baron von Boyce. It's one of the new maps, and the French are an interesting bunch to play. They have very high income at the start of the match, 105, which is, well, quite superior to the units that you can see here. This is the 91st Luftlande with 80 points of income, and the 21st Panzer at 85 points. And considering that the French units generally aren't that expensive, you can pretty much field a tank or a heavy unit every single minute. To add to that, all of their units are fast. They are fast movers, they tend to be very good at flanking, very quick at moving up, and they have a very interesting aircraft. This is an aircraft that does not deliver bombs, but it delivers a smokescreen. You can see that he has it down here in the bottom, the DB-7B. This is going to be an aircraft that you can really quickly use to deploy a smokescreen. But of course, just like any other aircraft, it is valuable, or it's vulnerable to anti-aircraft fire. But if you use it at the start of the match, you can get some interesting results, and that's what Baron's going to go with. Now he's operating on the right flank of the map. You can see here that you have these small buildings over here. They have a pretty good line of sight, and they can be used to keep the enemy at bay from this road. But then again, would they even use this road is the question. They'd have to cross this open terrain, which is a death trap. You also have these structures over here, and it usually tends to become a standoff between this position here, these buildings here, and these buildings here. They create overlapping fields of fire, they're very good machine gun nests, and once the enemy has either taken this position or this position over here, it becomes quite difficult to make your way across. Now Baron has a fix for that, and you're going to see that in a minute. Over on the left we have the second French player here. This is Mishkov, again the second Blindé. He is going in with quite a few infantry transports, as infantry still seems to be the way to go initially, if you want to capture terrain and hold the front line, and especially in conquest that of course becomes pretty important. Baron goes in with quite a few infantry units, especially take note of the veterancy here. 2 stars, 2 stars, 1, 2... this I believe is machine gun group, so these guys don't get any stars. Another 2 star, a 1 star. And over on the right we have a 1 star Jeep MMG, so it does get a medium machine gun, again with infantry inside. Now let's kick off this match. Here we go, let's see if these units in Steel Division are any better at moving around the map than the units in Wargame are, because Wargame, they're notorious for overshooting their crossing. And yep, in Steel Division they still bump into each other. What I do like about Steel Division is that you can actually see the guys sitting inside the half-track, as opposed to, for example, Wargame, where the guys are carried internally. This, by the way, does not really make a difference, I believe, for the vulnerability of the troops. Game compared to Steel Division. Anyway, he keeps pushing up, and notice the DB-7B that he has over here. This is the smoke deploying aircraft. It's a bomber, comes with 4 smoke charges. So he just keeps plowing down the line and spots the first enemy here. Opel Blitz, and we have another one from Mikhail Jestolov over here on the left. He's using 91st Luftlande, so again infantry. You want to be a bit careful against those guys. He's using these tree lines. I'm not sure if this is intentional or not, but he's using them as a sort of cover or moving up beside them. And notice this smokescreen. This is what the DB-7B deployed. Very large diagonal smokescreen across the road. Now this smokescreen allows him to drive in directly towards this position, which puts him at a very significant breach into the enemy lines. He's also deployed his Spahis over here, and the MMG is moving up on the right flank. So he's also delivering some pressure on this end. Unfortunately, it gets taken out quickly. But over here we have a very short-range conflict. And notice how, when there's a leader, of course, the CDP Voltigeur, they have been providing veterancy. We now have 3-star M5A1s with a heavy machine gun. And they are very, very quickly cutting their way through the red forces that are here. The Luftlande really don't have anywhere to go. Again, there goes a Pack 37 or Pack 36. And he's quickly moving his infantry to capture these buildings before the enemy can move up and counter him there. Now as he moves up, and he does not have any units here, he's about to get cut off by his own lines. So he really quickly needs to get some sort of units over here, or he risks being cut off, which can deliver morale damage. But he has a leader nearby, or actually two of them, so these guys should be fine. He spots an AA gun. It's immediately being engaged by the Nueve over here. Second group of Nueve moving left, and they are about to engage an IG-18, which is a pretty decent anti-infantry gun. But if you can get your infantry close enough, they really quickly dispense of it. There goes another group of Ersatztruppen, and the M5A1s just keep moving up. Now this is the good thing about coming up against the Luftlande, because they don't really have any decent armored vehicles at the early stages of the game. Phases B and C, they get quite a few Stooks, but Phase A, they really don't get that much. Now at this point, his line has been cut off. He still has the position over here, the mitrailleur, so the machine gun is moving up and is moving to suppress the infantry as it's coming down this road. Mikhail is quickly trying to get these buildings under his own control, but he doesn't really have anywhere to go. So instead he moves up and tries to move on to these buildings, where he almost moves immediately into another group of reinforcements that are being brought in to help out the French in the front line here. And that's not the only thing he has coming up. There's more of them, and we have our first armored vehicle. Very small. This is the M8. It's a 5-point armored vehicle, not that good. Its accuracy is rather poor. It only carries HE, but that does make it quite good at killing off enemy infantry. And of course it also comes with two machine guns, both a 12.7 and a 7.62. So we have a pretty good infantry killer here, and there's plenty of targets for that thing once it gets here. Now notice how he keeps locking down the infantry here with the two machine gun nests. We have them over here, and there's a second group on this end. And to make matters worse for the Luftlande, we also have a mortar. And the mortar is going to help out on the right flank initially, because we have another group of Ersatztruppen over there, which are immediately pinned down. And as they're pinned down, they lose front lines. And there you go. They're already at 58% of map control. This is majorly thanks to that smokescreen that he deployed initially, and due to capturing these buildings. He is starting to run lower on infantry at the moment. He still has 8 Nueve over here and 9 on this end. And then he seems to be ambushing units as they come down the road. But neither of these have... Correction, these guys do, the Voltigeur. They do have an anti-tank option. They have the M1 bazooka. The Nueve don't have that. So you're going to have to bring some sort of dedicated anti-tank unit if you want to deal with units as they come down the road. Now he's starting to lose units, but look at this. All of these Ersatztruppen, as they were moving forward, have been suppressed, pinned down, and are now forced to retreat. And as they're retreating, they're dragging their own front line with them. And of course, Mishkov over here on the left is quickly making use of that gap to try and get in here and use these buildings for cover, as well as pushing back the front line. Machine guns still suppressing, and here is the M8 in action. Currently only using its longer range gun to try and hit enemy units, or at least suppress them. And the Germans are completely on the run, with very little terrain to fall back to. Yes, they have these buildings, but as they're moving up, they're immediately getting shot in the flank by the Nueve over here. The Voltigeur don't really have the range yet, but at least these guys don't have anywhere to go. They're completely locked down. Over on the right, he doesn't have that much. We still only have the Spahis over here, and we have another Spahi recon vehicle, the AMM8. Nice vehicle, this one. Pretty accurate, 4 accuracy. Yeah, okay, it's decent. 37mm gun, decent rate of fire. It can go up against a tank if you really wanted to, but I would prefer taking out half-tracks with this thing, or transports. It also comes with a couple of machine guns, so those can be used to suppress infantry if they get into range. Now the M8 is still working its way through all of the infantry that was out in the open, and there is just not a lot that these guys can do but fall back or die. And dying is what they seem to be doing at the moment. 60% map control for Blue 4. Auberchet moves up, tries to get a shot at these guys over here. When is he in range? Ooh, we got a counter shot here. Looks like an anti-tank gun on the left. And unfortunately that's the end of the M8 there. But we have another group of infantry on the right, which is immediately being suppressed by this machine gun. And not the best position for them, as their line of sight to the front and to the left is pretty much obstructed by all those trees. But to the right, they're able to suppress the infantry and make sure that these guys keep running for cover. We now have the M8 Spahis engaging a Panzer 39H, and at this range, with this amount of armor, which is only 4, the Spahis can do it, but it's currently just trying to hit each other as the first order of business, which both vehicles are still struggling with. You can see it's seemingly trying to break down some walls here, closing in a little bit. One got, there we go. The Cannon 57 got the kill on the tank here. And as he keeps pushing here on the left, he's also moving up with some units on the right, which is, I believe, his actual first tank, the Char 5A1, also known as the American M5A1. Pretty nice light tank, only 85 points, which means that you can bring in one every minute in Phase A and you still have points to spare. So you can pretty much overwhelm the enemy. That's exactly what he's doing. He's just throwing a lot of units at them. Here's another unit that you can get for the French, and for the French it's unusual in the sense that you can get it in Phase 1. The M10A1. We've already seen this unit before, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But the fact that you can get a 13 AP gun on a very mobile platform in Phase A can be a massive advantage if you want to push fast, if you want to use all that mobility that the French have to offer. And Baron just keeps pushing. He just keeps moving the infantry away. He tries to get the kill on the tank as he's moving the 57mm in position. And the Spahis over here is also trying to keep that tank at bay. He's doing a rather good job at it. Look at that, it actually killed it off. Of course, once again, he's using making good use of the Voltigeur over here, the command infantry. And with them, making sure that these units get a bit more accurate. Which is something that they can definitely use, especially the Spahis. Another group of infantry comes up, seems like a command Fallschirmjäger group. And is he going to deploy another smoke screen, and if yes, where? Yep, we have another smoke screen coming up right on top of these buildings, slightly down the road. Not exactly sure what his intentions are, because I don't believe that there are that many units. Let's see what he's going to do with that smoke. Mortar suppressing the guys here. Oh, here we go. An MMG Jeep. What is it deploying? Narrowly avoided getting shot at by the half-track over there. MMG now suppressing the Fallschirmjäger Führer, and we have close-range issues here. Panzer Grenadiers. That hurt. Spahis are quickly offloaded, but they're only a 2-man group against 8 Panzer Grenadiers, and they immediately surrender as their vehicle gets blown up. Now, over on the right, what's that tank doing? Not that much yet. Actually expected him to start pushing up along with the reconnaissance units over here. Not so much yet. He's probably really focused on trying to capture these buildings here. Again, machine guns just suppressing and seemingly doing a bit of a duel with the other machine guns, which do have the advantage at this point because they're inside a structure. These machine guns are not. They do have some cover from the tree line, but it's not going to be outstanding. And if he can get one of those armored units with a bit more HE power to help out against this machine gun nest, then these Nueven might be able to capture these buildings and once again move up the front line. The front line just keeps going up. We're at 62% for Blue 4. This is very painful for Red. They are getting a lot of income here. ticking in quite a few points, +2 every couple seconds. +2 per second. It just keeps going up. And with that, we only have 2 minutes left in the game, so I expect these guys are going to surrender before the time actually runs out. They're probably going to run out of units, they're going to run out of infantry, and something else that the French managed to achieve is that this battle group, the 21st Panzer, which does come with the King Tiger, never makes it to Phase C, and as such cannot bring in the King Tiger. So that is one way that you can quickly try to lock it down. Just try to win the game before Phase C even starts, which is exactly what they're doing right now. And if that happens, then you don't even need to worry about the King Tiger. So very, very good job here by Baron. And on his left we have Mishkov, who's also captured quite a bit of terrain. And together they have made a significant dent in the middle, especially to the right, with all of Baron's forces. Again, another group of HT M5s comes in. More reinforcements are ready to go. I think he might have this area in mind for his next assault. Unfortunately, he's taking increasing amounts of airstrikes here. Just lost the Cannon 57 over there. Fortunately, these M5s can do some damage, and he also has a M16 DCA, which is again doing a bit of suppressive damage, but most of these aircraft are getting away with actually striking before they're forced to retreat. We still have one machine gun nest here, but it's apparently already caught behind enemy lines. There's just nowhere for these guys to go. And thereby, the front line has already moved up behind them, so there we go. Don't think he's going to be able to make it here. There we go, Mikhail surrenders, and that's it. Barca surrenders. Very, very quick victory for the French. Now, countering the French is not going to be easy because they just have so much firepower and so much maneuverability in Phase A. So you're going to have to, or at least that's my plan for now, just keep them at bay in Phase A. Keep them contained as much as you can. And by doing such, you will probably be able to at least suppress them long enough to last to Phase B. And in Phase B, you might be able to capture some terrain back from them. But of course, it's not going to be too easy, because if the French get too much opportunity in Phase A, they're either going to move out really quickly, or they're going to entrench. And then it's going to be quite difficult to get them out of that position again. Anyway, this is the way that Baron von Boyce played the French deck. If you have a good French replay where you use them in a different way, or you actually show off a lot more for that maneuverability, then let me know. Send it in through the link in the description. Hope you enjoyed this game for now. I'm going to be showing off the 21st Panzer Division soon, and you're going to have to join me on the channel for that some other day. For now, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon for more videos.